Hi everyone, it's Susan Seiler here for week 4, lung capacity. So this experiment is a messy one, but it's only water messy, so it's not too bad. I'm going to tell you the supplies that I have here, and then I'll give you a couple of ideas on how to run the experiment, and then I'll show you the experiment. So first is a 12-quart Sterilite container. It doesn't have a lid, it just came in the dish area of Walmart. Then I have 25-foot standard airline tubing. This came from the aquarium section of also Walmart. And we have a jug of water. CC Livermore, you will have 4 stations just like this. And each student will have their own piece of aquarium tubing. This is a lot of fun, and I wanted them to be able to take it home with them. So I suggest you put a little piece of tape and write their name on it if they don't have a backpack that they can put it directly in. The other thing we want to tell them is these are not weapons, and we're not to be swinging it around. Someone can actually really get injured by getting whacked with airline tubing. So this is an idea, but each student gets to take their tubing home. If you are interested in doing a different campus and you're interested in doing a straw attached to it where you cut that down, or where you remove that for each student, hang on to the end of the video and I'll show you that. All right, so the first thing is you need to decide whether you'd like to run this as a demonstration or an experiment, or both. In the case of CC Livermore, I noticed our science sheets, in the hypothesis and conclusion, it asks the question if you think more water will be pushed out with a regular breath or a deep breath. So that means that we probably should model a regular and a deep breath if there is time. What I would recommend doing is for the tutor actually to run the demonstration first as a demonstration, where you demonstrate doing a regular breath and then you demonstrate doing a deep breath. Then you allow the students to take turns at the stations. I think that will give them the opportunity to go completely through the lung capacity checklist or worksheet, and then allow them to spend the time actually focused on the observation of the demonstration or of the experiment. So I would run it first as a demo and then let the kids go to the different stations, or not different stations, let the kids go in a pair to the station. Okay, how does it work? First is you'll have your jug of water here, and you'll want to run a strip of tape down the side. Now, when you do it, it's going to be this way, and you're going to be pushing a lot of water out. So you need to run your tape all the way down to the neck to ensure that you can mark where the students blow their air out, because they're not going to be blowing the air where you're going to be marking up here. They're going to blow it down enough that you're going to mark down here. If you want to compare student to student, if you start your tape always right here at the neck, then that'll give you a pretty consistent comparison if you're using more than one jug and more than one station, which we will be doing. So you need a helper, and this container is filled up with approximately 1.25 gallons of water, about half. And that's going to be important, tutors, because we're going to need to reuse the station. So when you first get there, hopefully it will be set up like this, and you'll need to put about halfway. I think it's right, I don't know if you can see it, it's right about here. If you go too much over halfway, the water will overflow from the bin, so keep it to about half or a smidge under. Okay, so the cap is on. The container needs to be submerged in the water and then the cap removed. There's not a ton of space between, and a little bit of water goes out, but not much. Okay. Then you can instruct your student to take a deep breath and put one end of the tubing into the mouth of the container. Okay, I told you this was messy. All right, then they're going to take a deep breath. I'm not going to blow this all the way out, but anyway, on and on and on. And you can see how the water will go out. If they blow out all the water, which is absolutely possible, I certainly can, again, the water will not overflow from the basin. And so you would mark with your Sharpie on here, and their name, if you can. You'd mark on there, I think this is a dry marker, the measurement on where they completed. So I'll have 2 at each table. So I would recommend you have all the students go to one table because you're probably not going to have enough helpers, mom helpers, to hold this jug. So if you have all the kids go to one table, have 2 kids doing this experiment, then one of your moms can stay behind and fill up the containers while the students all go to the second table, and you have 2 more students do the experiment over there, and then just repeat again. The moms can go back over. It is kind of a lot to do, but we have 30 minutes. It's the only experiment, so I think you can do that. So I overflowed. Okay, don't do that. That didn't happen to me earlier. So just refill up the bottle. It needs to be filled up all the way to the very tippy top. If you lift up the jug and some air comes in when you lift it after you filled it, it needs to be filled up again to the very tippy top and put the cap on it. And that will be ready for your next group or your next class. All right, let's see. What else do we need to know? So if you wanted to have your students make a chart on the back of their lab sheet with everyone's lung capacity, you certainly could do that. And you might, if there's time when your students are older and it's not a super competitive class, you might document which sort of activities your students do. Is it always the biggest person, the largest person who has the largest lung capacity? Would swimming, running, singing, playing a wind instrument, and those sorts of things make a difference? Those are good questions because, of course, we know as adults we can improve our lung capacity, and it's really the question we want to ask our students if there's time. Do you think we can improve our lung capacity? All right, so I think that is all the pieces. So please make sure you fill the jug to the tippy top and set it to the side. Have your bin about halfway full with water and leave it like that for the next class. So as you're leaving tutor, have a mom that you know is diligent and thorough. Stay behind and make sure those pieces are put into place. Okay, so if you are not going to have your campus, if you're not on CC Livermore, if you're not going to have everyone take aquarium tubing home, what you can do is you can get some straws, cut them into pieces, or not. That's just a good way to maximize your usage. Take a piece of masking tape or other sort of tape. Make sure your tubing fits inside of the straw and simply tape the straw on to the tubing. That'll allow you to reuse the tubing and still keep it nice and sanitary. And then you can simply pull off the straw and put on a new one for the next student. So that's another way that this can be done. All right, I think that's it for week 4. God bless you. Thank you for all you do to prepare for our classes. And CC Livermore, I'll see you Friday.